Sir Alex Ferguson is coming back in an advisory capacity to Manchester United, and he'll be back on the board. Richard Arnold has turned to him for his advice, and it will give Fergie more influence at Old Trafford than at any other time since he stepped down as the Manchester United manager. Now, for some people, this is good news. For some people, this is, oh wow, we get a legendary figure back at board level. We get a winner back at board level, somebody of high standards back at board level, somebody with influence that completely comprehends the idea of structure, continuity, consistency, getting behind the manager, removing player power, somebody that has built two clubs up from almost nothing, taking Aberdeen and breaking the dominance that the two Glaswegian clubs in Celtic and Rangers have, taking Manchester United from the doldrums, from a team that only a decade earlier or so had been relegated, a team that hadn't won a league title in nearly 30 years, broke the drinking culture within the game, built Man United up from nothing again, won a treble, won 2 Champions League, broke record after record after record after record. This should make Man United fans happy. But it hasn't, has it? It's another reason for Man United fans to moan and whinge. And what is it people are saying about this? They're essentially saying it's foolish. People are essentially saying this is foolish. When will Man United learn? No joy, no jobs for the boys. This man should retire. This guy gave us Moyes. This guy said that we should re-sign Ronaldo. And I think there's elements of challenge there that's fair. But do people realize that even the greatest don't get everything right? That even the greatest don't... I want to make sure I say this in the right way. The greatest managers currently active make mistakes, buy the wrong players, sell the wrong players, fall out with people, decide not to sign him and sign this individual instead, and get things wrong. Why is it with Sir Alex Ferguson? Why is it with Sir Alex Ferguson do our fans become fools? Why is it with Sir Alex Ferguson do our fans turn into these weirdos, turn into these freaks, turn into the... I'm going to focus on the handful of mistakes I've seen from Fergie rather than all the brilliant things he's done. In fact, we've also become a generation of... I want to make sure I say this right. We've become a generation of bullet point readers. We read a tweet and we think we know the full story. Read the story. I mean, in fact, even the tweet that first got put out by the United District, as we put up on the screen, read it again. Fergie, it will give Ferguson more influence at Old Trafford than at any other time since he stepped down as manager, which tells you he's had almost no influence. In fact, since the, you're talking 4 or 5 years ago now that he had the hemorrhage, he's had almost no influence. He's been a almost ceremonial, had a ceremonious position at the club, as opposed to being directly involved in decision-making. And he's been added to a think tank. Read the goddamn article, people. Instead of moaning on Twitter, belittling and putting down not just a Man United, the Premier League legend. The man is the Premier League. Without Sir Alex Ferguson and what he achieved, the Premier League wouldn't be what it is today. So everybody that basks in the glory of this league, you owe a big percentage of it to this man. So why the disrespect? He's being added to a think tank, along with the likes of David Gill. Now, the irony in this is the last time Man United was successful with these owners, David Gill, Sir Alex Ferguson, and Brian Robson were all part of the system, key decision makers. They've all been gone for years and we've fallen apart. Richard Arnold's being smart. He's bringing them back. He isn't bringing them back to run the club. He isn't bringing them back to do negotiations with players. He's bringing them back to add as a think tank. For the first time in 10 years, we're actually going to listen to somebody who knows what it is they're talking about. So what's the goddamn issue? Today's show is sponsored by Private Internet Access. And this is something I use on my personal computers, work computers, and on my devices. Whenever you're using an open network for internet, whether at a cafe, whether you're at the airport, shopping center, wherever that may be, you need to encrypt yourself and ensure that your personal data is being protected at all times. Private internet access is available all around the world. And as I've mentioned, you can use it on your smartphone, your smart TV, laptops, iMacs, wherever it is that you use. This also gives you the availability to access content worldwide. So when you're traveling, it doesn't matter if you want to use your Netflix, the iPlayer, YouTube, wherever you are in the world, the VPN via private internet access gives you the ability to do so. Now, what the Football Terrace can do for you is give you an 82% discount on this product, plus 3 months free. All you need to do is click on the link in the description or scan the QR code on your screen during this video to sign up now. Look, I'm somebody who I respect everybody's entitled to an opinion. I will respect that. But equally, in respecting the fact that people can have difference of opinions, you got to respect that I think your opinion is a piece of dog shit. And I'm going to say that with I don't care if it even upsets people. It is absolutely horrendous for people to be turning against Sir Alex Ferguson here. Absolutely horrendous to think that Fergie has had any real part in the downfall of this club over the past 9 years. Yes, he advised on taking on David Moyes. And that was a wrong decision. But that in itself wasn't the biggest issue of taking on David Moyes. If you actually go back and do your research on what happened, David Moyes was advised by Sir Alex Ferguson to not remove the backroom staff, to not change the functions at the football club, to just come in the short term at the very least and take over where he left off, leave the backroom staff there, the coaches there, everything else, the recruitment team, the scouts. David Moyes came in and he was allowed to do it. This was the mistake of the Glazers. He was allowed to overhaul everything that Sir Alex Ferguson had built. He took a title-winning setup, dismantled it, and brought in Everton's setup. That's David Moyes and the Glazers' fault, and of course Woodward, for allowing that to happen. Absolutely nothing to do with Sir Alex Ferguson. Sir Alex Ferguson advised the football club that maybe bringing back Cristiano Ronaldo could be the right thing to do. However, that's on the manager to know his system, Ed Woodward and the Glazers to then back the manager. Fergie advising or talking about or saying, I can help bring him in because I've got influence, isn't Sir Alex Ferguson making that decision. Ollie did. Woodward did. The Glazers did. And interestingly, if people actually took the goddamn time to read the article, you would see this segment here that says, although Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill remained on the United board as non-executive directors since leaving their jobs in 2013, it has been largely a symbolic gesture with former United chief executive Ed Woodward choosing to do things his way. Now, that isn't new. That hasn't been put into this article to make Fergie look better now. This has always been the case. We all know this. This is common knowledge about your own football club that you're moaning about. Fergie has been there in a symbolic, ceremonial position. He has had almost zero authority for a decade. Now, all he's coming in to do is to give more of an opinion, more of an understanding, more direction. And what's interesting is this. Football may have moved on in the last 10 years. Would Fergie be able to come back now at 80 years of age and create a title-winning team? In my opinion, absolutely not, especially with his health concerns. But one thing that hasn't changed in football that continually gets bouted about like it has, structures, cultures, behaviors, discipline, consistency, relentlessness, professionalism, morals. And I'm talking professional morals in the approach to your job. Some Fergie's squad and players and teams had people doing some immoral things, but they're dedicated to the football club. It's another conversation for another day. But Sir Alex Ferguson understands that, and none of that has changed in football. The two most successful clubs in the last decade hold that dear. The teams that are now dominating English and European football have all that in abundance. And that is what Man United need. This club fell apart not because Fergie and David Gill left, but because the likes of Woodward and the Glazers and every manager that came in after them tried to run it in a completely new and different way. And there's an adage that should be used here that if something isn't broken, don't try to fix it. The people that tried to do it their own way, I'm not doing it Fergie's way, I'm doing it my way, they helped break the club. Of course, the overriding issue here was the Glazers allowing this to happen. Consistently allowing it. It is crazy. if you've got a process and a system and a structure and hierarchy that yield results, you don't change it. And I'm not going to sit here and ignore these disgraceful, these mushrooms, these fungus Man United fans attacking Sir Alex Ferguson. They haven't even read the goddamn article, because if they had read the article, they wouldn't be showing this level of frustration. And the reason I know they wouldn't be showing this level of frustration is because they're blaming Fergie for things that have gone wrong in the last 10 years when he hasn't had any control, input, or say. Ceremonial. Symbolic. And this is the problem. There are certain types of Man United royalty that are not accepted at Man United anymore. And I don't know why that is. You tell me what kind of people I'm talking about here. You tell me. But if Sir Alex Ferguson is being scoffed at, if Sir Alex Ferguson is being bemoaned by Manchester United fans, what hope have we got of ever getting back? What hope have we ever got of creating a little bit of togetherness amongst the fan base? This club never learns, is what Adam Burgess has got to say here as an example. And I don't even really know, what that means. It's kind of crazy to me. This man should be on an allotment. I'm just reading the comments here. It's absolutely ridiculous. I get people saying let him retire. This is one of the strangest ones here. These people don't know ball. Why would they do this? Why would they take advice from the most successful manager in British football history? Why would they take advice from Manchester United's greatest in the modern era CEO in David Gill, or vice chairman, they call him at our club? Why would we take advice from them? Because we've ignored them for the past decade and we've fallen away. Because we didn't listen to them. And our club fell apart. This is the problem I have with Man United fans. Deep-rooted problem I have with Man United fans. They don't know their own club. The amount of bullshit I see from them all every day. They moan about the things that are the problem. We try and fix the problems, and they moan about them. And the things that aren't problems, they moan about. All the time. These people don't know their own club. They honestly don't. And it's because they spend all their time blaming managers, all their time blaming ex-pros that might be, a coach or so that they don't like on the bench, all the time blaming the worst player in the squad, and never enough time focusing on the Glazers. Most people that were Ollie out, that were Jose out, that are McTominay out, that hate Rashford, that hate Bruno, they are Glazer simps. Oh, I'm going to buy the new kit. Oh, I'm going to renew my season ticket. Mugs. You're as big a problem at this football club as the Glazers. You really are. Fergie's back. This will improve Manchester United. Get off his back. Mugs.